Hello and welcome to this new tutorial. In today's tutorial, we shall talk about the features of Supra-Territoriality. आप सबका स्वागत है इस नई ट्यूटोरियल में और आज के इस ट्यूटोरियल में हम लोग समझेंगे और जानेंगे the important features of Supra-Territoriality. Let's begin. So first is transcendence of geographic boundaries. Supra-Territoriality implies that certain activities, flows, and relationships are not confined to specific places but instead span across multiple territories simultaneously. This challenges the traditional notion of territoriality where activities are rooted in specific locations. So as we discussed already in the concept of supra-territoriality, it is very obvious that in the era of globalization, in the era of connectivity and technology, supra-territoriality basically implies that there are certain activities and there are certain flows and there are certain relationships that are not confined to only specific places or the locality. Rather, because of globalization, these are spreading across multiple territories simultaneously. So as we discussed already in the concept, I gave you examples of social activities, I gave you example of political activities and economic activities today, which are not confined to one place. Rather, they are taking place and influencing across the multiple territories simultaneously. So this is the major challenge to the traditional notion of territoriality, where once upon a time the activities were rooted only in specific locations. But as we said, today, because of technology, because of connectivity, because of globalization, the activities are now transcending across the geographical boundaries. फर्स्ट जो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है वो बेसिकली हमको बताता है कि आज के तारीख में जो एक्टिविटीज़ होती है वो एक पर्टिकुलर टेरिटरीज़ में उसको आप नहीं रख सकते, वो हमेशा स्प्रेड होती रहेंगी अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड एंड द ऑब्वियस रीज़न इज़ ग्लोबलाइजेशन. दूसरी चीज़ है कनेक्टिविटी और तीसरी चीज़ है आपका इंटरनेट एंड सोशल मीडिया. सो वो ज़माना गया जब ट्रेडिशनली जो नोशन हुआ करता था कि जो भी कोई स्पेसिफिक एक्टिविटी होगी वो वहीं पर ही उसका इन्फ्लुएंस रहेगा या फिर वो वहीं पर ही रहेगा और वो स्प्रेड नहीं होगा. लेकिन आज के तारीख में सुपरा टेरिटोरियलिटी बेसिकली इम्प्लाइज करता है कि जो भी आज एक्टिविटीज़ रहेगा, जो भी रिलेशनशिप उसका रहेगा, वो एक स्पेसिफिक जगह पे नहीं रहेगा बल्कि वो स्प्रेड होता जाएगा हर तरफ across multiple territories simultaneously. And the only reason is, as I said, is globalization, connectivity and internet, social media. So first point clearly says that all the activities which are today taking place are transcending across the geographic boundaries. Second very important point is global networks and flows. The concept basically encompasses the global networks and flows of information, capital, goods, services, people and cultural products. These flows are facilitated by advancement in technology, transportation and communication, making it easier to connect across distances. Second very important point which will help us to understand the supra-territoriality is global network. Today's global network is highly complex and highly well connected. Those days are gone, as we already discussed, that if you want to connect to the world, it will take you a long time. But because today the global network is so much connected, it actually helps to flow the information from one part of the world to another part of the world. The best examples is look at the events which are taking place. If the event is taking place somewhere in the corner of the world, you will have it on your phone through social media, example Twitter, right? Example those news medias, example those news apps. Similarly, the capital which today is flowing at very super speed. Goods, for instance, you are ordering something on Amazon or any shopping platform, whatever you have in your region, you have the goods, whatever you need, or the services quickly. Look at how the people have been now traveling. Those days are gone where it would take them months to travel from one part of the world to another. Rather, today it is just taking some hours to travel. Similarly, the cultural products, all cultures, today are been spreading, and people know about every culture on tip of their finger. So therefore, the global network and the information through which it flows has facilitated the advancement in technology, and this is all happening because the technology has advanced, so does the transportation, so does the communication, and therefore it is making very very easy to connect anybody across the distances. दूसरा जो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है जो हमें सुपरा टेरिटोरियलिटी के बारे में बताता है या फिर समझने में उसका हेल्प होता है, वो है ग्लोबल नेटवर्क्स. आज के तारीख में जो ग्लोबल नेटवर्क स्प्रेड हुआ है, उसका जो वेब हर तरफ फैला हुआ है, उसी की वजह से आज जो इंफॉर्मेशन है या फिर कैपिटल है या फिर गुड्स, सर्विसेज, पीपल, कल्चरल प्रोडक्ट्स, दे आर स्प्रेडिंग अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड इन अ क्विक वे. इसका फैलाव जो इतना बढ़ गया है वो बढ़ गया है बिकॉज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. आज की टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत एडवांस हो चुकी है. जो 50 साल पहले हमारे पास टेक्नोलॉजी थी और आज की जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उसमें आपको ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क देखने को मिलेगा. और आने वाले भविष्य में भी जो टेक्नोलॉजी ईजाद हो जाएगी या फिर उसका इन्वेंशन जो होगा, दैट विल मेक लाइफ ऑफ एवरी इंडिविजुअल अक्रॉस द ग्लोब मोर ईजी, आई वुड से. और टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में जो डेवलपमेंट आया है या फिर कम्युनिकेशंस में जो डेवलपमेंट आया है, इसी की वजह से जो चीज़ें हैं, जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, गुड्स है, सर्विसेज है, लोग हैं और उनके जो कल्चर्स हैं, वो बहुत जल्दी स्प्रेड हो रहे हैं. और यही उसका इम्पोर्टेंस है कि आज के तारीख में, आज के ग्लोबलाइजेशन इरा में, the global networks plays a very important role to understand how supra-territoriality is evolving. Third very important aspects is deterritorialization. Now, supra-territoriality basically involves deterritorialization, where social, economic and political processes are increasingly influenced by global rather than local factor. This means that local events and decisions can be significantly shaped by the global trends and vice versa. Similarly, the deterritorialization is also very important. And what is this deterritorialization signifies? It signifies that today's social, economic and political processes are increasingly influencing the global rather than local factors. What does it mean? It means that anywhere if there are any local issues are picking up, those local issues are not going to be located only in that locality, rather it will spread across the globe, right? And this is possible only because of globalization, and therefore all the social events, all the economic events, all the political events are increasingly influenced by global rather than local factors. So at global level, this means that local events and the decision can always going to influence and shape the global trends. Let us give an example for a moment. Look at the technology which is being invented. Technology never become global until unless at the beginning it has to be a local. Somebody sitting in a garage or somebody sitting in a small room somewhere in Bangalore works on certain ideas. Those idea picks up the trends, and gradually because of social media, because of technology, that local issues or local technological development eventually began to set the trends globally. So, in supra-territoriality, whether it is local issues or whether it is local factors or whether it is a global factors, they will influence each other in a big way only because we are living in today's 21st century. The best example here from political perspective would be Tunisia's revolution, which began to became which later became and known as Arab uprising. It was a small event which happened in Tunisia, which was shot on smartphone or a camera. Later on, it was uploaded on YouTube, and social media gave it a much needed boost, and eventually it became Arab uprising. So local events were influenced by the global event and vice versa. थर्ड जो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है वो है डीटेरिटोरियलाइजेशन. ये डीटेरिटोरियलाइजेशन बेसिकली ये कहता है कि आज के तारीख में जो भी सोशल इवेंट हो या फिर इकोनॉमिक इवेंट या फिर पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेसेस जो होता है वो बहुत हद तक इन्फ्लुएंस रहता है ग्लोबलाइजेशन से, और इसका जो इन्फ्लुएंस है वो लोकल फैक्टर्स पे भी होता है. जैसे कि किसी एक देश के कोने में एक चीज़ हो रही होगी, एट वेरी माइक्रो लेवल होती है, वो भी क्विकली एक ग्लोबल ट्रेंड हो सकता है, और उसको ग्लोबल ट्रेंड बनाने में सोशल मीडिया प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल दिया तुनिसिया का, जो आज के तारीख में हम अरब अपराइजिंग कहते हैं, उसकी शुरुआत कहाँ पर हुई? उसकी शुरुआत एक छोटे से शहर में हुई, तुनिसिया में, जब एक फ्रूट वेंडर इंसान जो था, ही मार्क्ड प्रोटेस्ट, वो सरकार के अगेंस्ट उसने अपने आप को आग लगाई, मतलब आत्मदाह किया. ही कमिटेड बेसिकली सुसाइड, एंड उसका जो पूरा जो इंसिडेंट था वो कैमरा के ऊपर शूट हुआ. जो प्रोटेस्ट, वो वीडियो यूट्यूब के ऊपर डाला गया, और जब उसको हज़ारों लाखों लोगों ने देखा कि एक यंग इंसान ने he protested against the government, against the injustice, thousands of people joined their protest, and eventually उसकी जो हवा थी वो धीरे धीरे आसपास के देशों में भी spread हो गई. So the point which we need to understand in the era of supra-territoriality is that any local event has the significant importance and it can shape the global trend and vice versa. कोई भी जो लोकल इवेंट है वो एक ग्लोबल ट्रेंड भी बन सकता है, या फिर जो भी ग्लोबल इवेंट्स है वो भी एट लोकल लेवल पर भी उसको इन्फ्लुएंस कर देता है. और ये सब चीज़ें होती है क्विकली क्योंकि वी आर वेल कनेक्टेड, वी हैव अ टेक्नोलॉजी, वी हैव अ फैंटास्टिक कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम्स, and we have a transportation. So these factors and a global network, as we discussed about, plays a very important role to influence local events as well as global event. And the last very important point to understand the important feature of supra-territoriality is interconnectedness. The interconnectedness brought about by supra-territoriality lead to increased interdependence among countries and regions. Economic markets, environmental issues, security concerns, for example, are no longer confined to national borders but requires international cooperation and solution. And the examples are, as I've already discussed, even in the concepts, are the global financial market, internet and digital communication, multinational corporation, environmental issues, and cultural exchanges. So the last very important point talks about that today we are living in interconnectedness world. The supra-territoriality leads to increase this interconnectedness among the countries and region, and therefore it is very much obvious to understand that whether it's economic markets, whether it is environmental issues or security concern, these cannot be handled in isolation. Countries need cooperation. There is a higher need of international cooperation to find solution to these problems, right? And why it requires international cooperation and solution? Because these issues are not just going to influence a country or B country, but rather it will influence everybody, all the countries in the world today. So therefore many countries are today interdependent upon each other, interconnected on each other to find the solution to this problem. And this is one of the feature which we are talking about, which define what supra-territoriality is all about. And the classic example, as we have already discussed in the concept, and again I have highlighted here, are the global financial market, right, where we need to cooperate with each other, internet and digital communications, multinational corporations, environmental issues and cultural exchanges. लास्ट जो पॉइंट है जो हमें बताता है कि वाई सुप्रा टेरिटोरियलिटी इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज़ बिकॉज आज के तारीख में हर एक देश, हर एक इंसान इंटरनेशनल ऑडियंस से या फिर ग्लोबलाइजेशन से कनेक्टेड है, और इसकी वजह से जो इंटरकनेक्टेडनेस जो बढ़ रहा है अमंग द कंट्रीज़, इट सिग्निफाइज अ लॉट दैट दे हैव टू वर्क टुगेदर, क्योंकि बहुत सारे इश्यूज़ है जो हर एक को इन्फ्लुएंस करेगी, हर एक देश को इम्पैक्ट करेगा, जैसे कि इकोनॉमिक मार्केट में हो, एनवायरमेंटल इश्यूज़ हो, या फिर सिक्योरिटी इश्यूज़ हो, या फिर ग्लोबल फाइनेंशियल मार्केट, डिजिटल कम्युनिकेशन, द रोल ऑफ मल्टीनेशनल कॉरपोरेशन एंड कल्चरल एक्सचेंजेस। ये जो चीज़ें हैं, जो इश्यूज़ है, ये जो एक्टिविटीज़ है, ये हर एक देश को इम्पैक्ट करेगी, और इसकी वजह से हर एक देश एक दूसरे के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट रहा है इन इश्यूज़ के वजह से। और इसीलिए आज के तारीख में आप देखेंगे कि बहुत इंटरकनेक्टेडनेस बढ़ गया है अमंग द कंट्रीज़, पर्टिकुलरली इन वेरियस रीजन। और इसकी वजह से हमारे आसपास हमने देखा है कि बहुत से रीजनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस भी शेप ले लेती है। और ये क्लासिक एग्जांपल है कि साउथ एशिया लो, या फिर साउथ ईस्ट एशिया लो, या फिर यूरोपियन यूनियन लो, या फिर एनी रीजनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आप देख लो, इनका जो एसेंस है ये है इंटरकनेक्टेडनेस, बिकॉज दे ऑल आर कनेक्टेड विद ईच अदर to find the solution to these issues. And these are the classic example to understand why therefore supra-territoriality is picking up in 21st century. So this is all about the important features of supra-territoriality. I hope you have understood both the concept and the important features of supra-territoriality. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I will see you soon in next tutorial. Till then, take care.